welcome back everybody. Thank you. Hope you're having a wonderful time. We've just had so many incredible speakers, and we have another incredible speaker today, and it is my co-host Raimonda, who is here to talk to you about everything you need to know about funding. Hello, Raimonda. I don't know why I'm saying hello to you. I've seen you all day, but hello anyway.
Hi.
And hello everyone. Do comment in the chat box. Keep questions coming if there's any questions throughout the session, and let us know where you are and what you think, what your problems are. It'd be really great to interact as much as possible. We love questions. But Raimonda, tell us a little bit about your background and why you're talking to us about funding.
Yeah. I think it's such an important subject and something that we haven't really spoken about. So I decided that it's quite important to share my expertise and something that I do and I have been doing for a number of years now. So my background and my expertise is business funding, business strategy, and how to take an idea and grow it into a business that potentially is fundable business. And through my experience of working with entrepreneurs and businesses, I have found a number of ways that you can fund the business and scale the idea to a real business. So I'm quite excited. I have put together some slides for the session just to help us to address some of the topics. I suppose will be more practical, and some of the new knowledge that you will learn in terms of the different ways of funding and how to grow your business. So I'll pop on the slides for you guys. Hopefully you can see it. Let us know if you're unable to see or anything like that. I have been doing this for 4 years now, and I have a business mentor as well who I work with. We funded a number of businesses successfully, technology businesses, innovation businesses, innovative startups. So, this is really my line of work and my bread and butter.
I think a lot of people, depending on your size of business, might think that it's, is funding relevant to me? I mean, can I get funding? Who is it for? I mean, do you have to be a certain size of a business or a certain business for this kind of thing to be relevant?
It can appeal to any type of business. I have put together in my slides in terms of the different stages of businesses, and do comment in the box and let us know what kind of business do you have so I can address them more specifically. But I've really taken from the very beginnings, because I have started my own business maybe 9 years ago now, and there was different ways that I decided to fund my venture, anything from bootstrapping and sort of using my own income and my own savings to fund a business, to considering some grants that are available. I have taken out a startup loan before, so that has helped me develop another business of mine. And there's also more professional type of funding, so angel and VC type of funding for more of a scaling businesses. So really there are many options, and I think there isn't enough awareness of just the different options that are available for startups to be able to raise some money for your idea and actually grow it and scale it. So I'm really excited about being able to share this knowledge, and what I have learned from asking from ladies if they know anything about funding. Many have said no, and that has really shocked me, because obviously I work in my sort of my area of working type of businesses that are quite aware about this. So for me, it was a huge surprise that not many people actually even considered funding for their business. So this is really a subject I want to explore, and I want to say that I think women specifically should be considering this for their businesses.
I think, the whole idea of a lot of people in similar businesses to me, I mean, just, funding it yourself, finding the money yourself, but you don't look outside. You don't even think that then that is open to you. And also there's that kind of fear of being in debt or owing something, or having your business owe something before you've even started making money, and it's quite terrifying. So anyway, hopefully you can explain it all and fears, and brilliant. It'd be great. Really looking forward to it.
Fantastic. So I'll put up some slides. Hopefully you guys can see it. Let us know if there's any problems at all. So here we are. So the subject of today will be growing and funding your business idea. And the way I see funding is funding as a journey. And as your business grows and progresses, you might be considering different types of funding. And we call it as funding as a journey, really, because you will be considering different options as you go along. So today's agenda really will be on where do you start with when you have an idea at an idea stage. What do you need to do to develop it into a business? The second stage is the actual development stage of your business, and how to really take it from an idea stage to something that possibly can be fundable by investors or small loan, and what you need for that. Another section is bootstrapping to your first revenue. So what are the things that you can do to bootstrap your business? And then considering different various options of funding. There are, like I said, there are several types of funding, and how you can scale it to exit. And having an exit plan for your venture is an important part. Many of us think that our business will go on forever, but if you consider your exit plan for your business, it will be easier to plan your business for the duration of how long you want to run it and what it is for you there at the end. So when you're talking about business, we really need to consider your goals. And we spoke about this earlier in terms of what kind of business do you want to build. Some will be building lifestyle business, and that's absolutely fine. But your lifestyle business goals will be different to those of the business that you want to scale and grow and possibly fund. So your goals for lifestyle business is usually generating income and, funding your lifestyle, funding your family. These are your priorities. Creating a system behind it. It might be one of your other goals might be just to deliver a product or a service, satisfy your customers, give them a good user experience, build your reputation, and just to make sure that your venture is profitable. So these are more of a lifestyle goals or lifestyle business goals that you would probably have. Now, when we're talking about growing a business to something that you are able to fund and build that continuity to potentially an exit plan that will be worth much more, we're looking at different types of goals. So I love this quote by Walt Disney, and it says, if you can dream it, you can do it. And very often we don't dream big enough for our businesses. We usually tend to be comfortable with just building a lifestyle business, but I encourage you to dream bigger and think on the lines of, how can I create something bigger than me, something more impactful that can, reach many lives around the world, or, create a huge value in what you're doing. So scalable business goals will be different to that of your lifestyle business. And for a scalable business, your goals and vision probably will be bigger than that of building a small lifestyle business. So here are some of the goals that you might be considering, which is to build something scalable, a product or a service, something that you can repeat many times and really take it to market, and there is no effect to how much time you need to spend. So really replicating your product or service many times over to be able to scale it. Another business goal might be to capture a market share in your selected market that you're going for. So capturing market share and competing with other businesses, especially, let's say, if you are in technology business, capturing market share could be huge thing. You know, looking at Facebook or Apple, they're constantly thinking about, you know, taking the market share and taking the time of people that spend online. So they're constantly competing for that. And there's nothing wrong with trying to acquire a specific market share of your selected niche. Another goal would be generating value in your business. So generating value in your business means having enough intellectual property or enough recurring revenue, so to speak, to create real value, so your business becomes worth something. So if you're thinking about an exit plan, let's say in 5 years, even if it's a restaurant or even if it's a coffee shop or a bakery, and you don't just want it to last forever, you want to build a value within your business, there are certain things that you can do to increase the value. So whether it's a brand that you're creating, maybe a specific product that you're starting to ship all around the country, maybe you open up more than one shop and you're scaling it that way, but with intention to eventually sell this business. So creating a value within it, all the processes and systems will generate value in your business that you can then go on and sell it afterwards. Another thing that we actually discussed with someone earlier today is about hiring a team, hiring someone better than you and having a competent team around you, which is really important in scalable business. So when someone comes to you to either invest or acquire your business, they will be looking at who's on your team, how much experience and expertise do they already have in your market. So really having a good team will increase the value of your business hugely. And planning for that exit, you know, you considering how am I going to sell this business or exit it in a number of years, who can acquire me as well, you know, especially if you're building something more technological or even a product. It could be you could be a candle maker and your business is so successful and so unique that someone could approach you to buy your business. So really coming back to the value of your business that you're creating from the get-go. Reason why I'm really talking about this subject and talking about the subject during the International Women in Business Summit is some of the findings that I have found as a result of putting together this presentation, that women founders are less, I want to say less likely, but there are less women going for funding for their businesses. And there's a huge gap and there's huge demand for women-led businesses. And there's a lot of opportunities for women. So these are my findings, that only 15% of female founders raised seed funding compared to 85% of men. So that's a huge gap, and there's huge opportunity for women to stand up and go for this professional type of funding and grow our businesses to the next level. Again, it's coming back to more women being leaders, more women having more prominent roles, and not being afraid to grow our businesses beyond just a lifestyle business. So this is truly my passion. I'd love to see those numbers rising in the coming years.
Can you give an example of the difference between a lifestyle business and a scalable business? I mean, what turns something from a lifestyle business to a scalable business? What's the difference?
I think, again, it comes back to your goals, your personal goals, and how you choose to build a business. So lifestyle business is something that you're possibly comfortable with running forever. You could be a hairdressing salon or an online business that you have no intention of selling. You're quite comfortable with just earning the revenue and running the business, but you have no sort of intention to sell it thereafter. Or, I mean, in some cases you can, but I think it comes down to the mindset of the founder, of where you want to take this. When you're talking about scalable business and when you're starting to think about, especially the professional funding area, if you start to get invested in, I think naturally your business will take the course that you will go for an exit. Someone will want to buy you out. Someone will want to acquire your business. And that's where a huge value will be created during the lifespan of your business, so you can actually exit it. And it will be worthwhile your time to spend, let's say, 5 years developing this business, because in 4 or 5 years time you will be looking at being acquired or sold. So it's a very different motivation when you're building a business. I've built a number of online businesses. Some of them have been more lifestyle businesses, but I'm looking at different ventures as well, how I can build it to scale and be acquired by someone else.
Yeah. So if you're building a business around your brand, around your personality, it's harder to scale it, unless, of course, you're producing products which you then would buy.
I would say, if you're building a personal brand, it's very hard to detach it from a business that you potentially building to sell. So if your brand or your business is very closely attached to you as a person, it'll be very difficult to sell that type of business, because without you, the business cannot stand on its own 2 feet.
So it's not a scalable business, therefore. Yeah. Okay.
So these are the stages, I would say, from my experience, these are the stages that I have been through, or you see businesses go through. So the initial idea, we all get really excited about ideas and, oh, this would be amazing. So really at the idea stage, you usually spend a lot of time doing the market research, figuring out whether the idea is viable, whether there is a business in what you're trying to achieve. Then it moves on to sort of development stage and really hands-on, whether you're developing a website, whether a product, you're testing something, testing validity of your idea, and then trying to reach your goals. It is always advisable to have a business plan before you start something. I think in a process, the business plan is not just a document, and I would say it could be a document that would guide you. And if you spend enough time preparing your business plan, the process of doing a business plan will teach you many things in terms of who are your competitors, what are your strengths, how can you compete in the market, what are the revenue goals, where are you going to break even? Because initially you will invest something, whether it's time, whether it's money, you will be investing something. So your job from the beginning, before you start to go on to the development stage, you need to consider, is there potential revenue, and how much money do I need to make to turn over enough to pay back for my time and to make this a worthwhile operation. And then the next phase is considering how you can scale that product and grow it and hopefully exit it with the right value behind it. So coming back to the idea stage, like I said, we all get really excited, and if we could all build a business on the back of a napkin, it would be amazing. But I think if we truly want to be successful in business, we really need to spend some time working on the idea, seeing and doing some initial market testing, seeing where there is demand, talking to your potential customers, and crunching your numbers, so to speak, figuring out how much is it going to cost you to develop something, how much money do you need to build your idea into a viable business. And something you should be asking yourself at the idea stage, what are you willing to invest yourself in your idea? This is a big question, and it could be answered in a number of ways. And in terms of what are you willing to invest and what are you willing to lose? So how much time are you willing to dedicate to this venture? How much money do you need to dedicate? And not every business is going to succeed. So are you willing to lose that money that you invested yourself? Or hopefully, double it. But there is always a risk that you should consider at an early stage. My motto is dream big. Apologies. Dream big, set some goals, and take action. I think really, I have always been of a mindset of dreaming big, and if you're going to do something, make it big and make an impact. Maybe it's just personally, I have always been very ambitious in building something bigger than me that can make an impact. So that's really my motto: in dream big, set some goals, and take action to make it happen. So development stage is usually where you start to build your minimum viable product, and building a product that you can test with your market and see whether there is a demand for it, whether people need it or want to buy it. And there is something in lean business approach, where you start to build something and then you test. You created a product, but you're not sure whether it will be the right product. So you go to the market and you ask whether it's, will anyone pay for it? You ask for feedback, and then you learn from it. And you should do that learning process and testing process quite early, because I see many entrepreneurs fall in love with their ideas a little bit too much. And when they fall in love with their ideas, they don't want to let go. They don't want to see any flaws. So if you can emotionally detach yourself and build, test, learn, and come back and improve it and see what people are saying. If people are giving you indications that your product is probably not something they would buy or not something they need, maybe you just need some tweaks, or you just really need to take on board that feedback and develop something that you can really sell and scale. When I look at businesses, I'm true entrepreneur, so I always have 100 ideas. So the way I manage ideas that I work on is I manage as a project. And when you manage a project, you need to consider the costs and timelines. So when I set out to build a business, I always put a timeline on it and consider the costs and what will entail. How long am I willing to continue building this business? So I really run it as a project and dedicate the time from get-go and consider the structure. I think there are different ways of incorporating a business. You can be a charity. Charity is still a business. You can be a social enterprise. You could be a limited company. You could be a sole trader. And I think in different parts of the world, these structures will be different. So you need to consider, what kind of structure do I want my business to have? And there's different implications of running a different type of business. So you really need to consider that and take some time reading up about different structures of business that you want to set up and what will work for you, depending, again, coming back to the goals that you set out from get-go. Maybe you just want to be a sole trader and you want to run just a one-man band business, like a cleaning business, or it could be a PA, so you might not need a limited company to do your PA business. So, a smaller structure might be better and less, more cost efficient for you to run it that way. Ladies, make sure you ask some questions if you're unsure, if you just need any specific questions answered, make sure you ask. So the reason I see funding as a journey, because every business goes through different stages, and at different stages you will need different type of support and possibly different type of money as well. At the idea stage, you probably don't need very much. You can bootstrap it, you can fund it either yourself or ask for your family, friends to make a small investment in your idea. So at idea stage, you probably don't need that much. But as a business grows, you will find that it needs more resources. You know, you need to possibly buy machinery, you need to purchase things, run the business, and invest to be able to scale it. So at different stage, your business will require different things, and you will probably find that as you go along. So these are really early stage funding options, and I think this is where it gets really interesting, because now we're talking at different areas that you can look into to access funding for your idea.
Bootstrapping is where you get the money together yourself through friends or family, through your savings. Is that
yeah,
what it is?
Really bootstrapping is self-funding and just cutting costs and running really lean operation while you're testing the idea, while you're building the idea, because you don't want to take on too much risk. So you really best option to just bootstrap at the early stage until you know you have a product of some kind. You've done a bit of market testing, you know there is a demand for it, and now you're really excited to take it to that next level. But to be able to take it to that next level, one, you need a bit of support, and two, you possibly need a little bit of money. So the different options of funding are accelerators. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of accelerators.
No idea.
No idea. Love it. It's good because we really go into the basics of the funding options. So accelerators are different programs that have been created by organizations that call themselves accelerators. And it's usually a network of people that have been in business before. They usually have a structure of how they run an accelerator. It might be 6 to 10, maybe 15 weeks long, up to, I'd say, 3 months, where you would apply to an accelerator with your idea at quite an early stage. And if you're selected, they will take you through a mentoring program to help you develop that idea. There are accelerators that are very, very specific to different niches, different types of businesses. There's a lot of technology-based accelerators. There is food business accelerators. There is medical. It really depends on what area you're in, and I'll mention a few.
How would you find an accelerator?
A little bit of research online. There are really many of them. And actually, I was a mentor at Startup Bootcamp. So Startup Bootcamp is an international accelerator based from Amsterdam. But they are, when they do selection days, they travel all around Europe. And they host like a one-day sessions where you go and pitch your idea, and then you go through a selection process and follow on. Then you spend 3 months within their offices. And the benefit of having accelerator support is that it doesn't usually cost anything to you, but they will be taking a small percentage of your business. But right, okay. In return, they will give you all the support that you need.
Okay, so it's in their best interest that you succeed.
Of course.
So,
and in some cases, they actually will help you access funding as well. They will probably put you in front of investors, help you pitch it. So there are people that have done it many times and they have built businesses, so they know from get-go, if you have the right idea and we have the right expertise, we will be able to help you with the process to scale this to a real business. So accelerators play a big part in the startup life cycle. Next stage would be probably looking into grants, and grants is money that you don't actually need to pay back. There are some fantastic grants available, and I have a page on this here. So this is startup and innovation grants and loans that are available within the UK. Unfortunately, I couldn't do it for different countries. There was just too much to cover. But these are some of the grants and startup loans available in the UK. So many of us have heard of Princess Trust. If you, I think 21 to 30, you're able to apply to Princess Trust for a small business. Capital Enterprise give a lot of support to UK startups as well, and not just UK, European startups. They also work with European co-investment fund. There is money available there. Innovate UK, Knowledge Transfer Network, they offer innovation loans. And actually, just before Christmas, I had a meeting with Innovate UK, and they run competitions throughout for different types of businesses. So businesses with impact that they would either give a grant or innovation loan and support you throughout. But what I've been told that not enough women apply to these funds. There is probably 70 to 80% of men applying to these initiatives, and just not enough women-led businesses. So again, I think there is a huge gap, and there's huge demand for women-led businesses to apply to these funds.
I don't think you'd be more likely to be looked at as a woman then, because they'd be looking to spread the funding a little bit more equally.
Yeah, of course. As a female founder, I think you stand out. Mm-hmm. Especially if you have something a little bit more innovative. And I encourage you, even if there is something you don't know, like things like technology. I was never technology savvy from the very beginning, but I chose not to shy away from it and learn things about it because I could see the potential in technology. And if I didn't know everything, I reached out to people that did know or found mentors that could help me. And all these organizations as well help you to find the right talent or the right developers or the right knowledge to match you up with people that do have that technological knowledge. So you should not shy away, even if you're not sure about some of the things in your area of business. There will always be a challenge. So don't be.
Sorry to interrupt you. I was going to say, what do you think the reason is that women aren't applying for this? Is it because they don't know that they're around, or is it because women tend to go for more lifestyle businesses?
I think there's a number of things. One is not being aware that there is a lot of support and there is money available. Two, I think women tend to build different businesses. So again, comes back to building lifestyle businesses, and maybe not being ambitious enough to grow and scale, and that fear of, well, if I take this money, what will happen? So I think overcoming that fear of growing something bigger than us.
Yeah. I don't think. Oh, Lindsay's saying she thinks it's awareness. So yeah, I think awareness is a big thing, because actually I have to say, because I know you posted something somewhere recently asking about funding, and there were so many people who didn't know about it. But yeah, I also think it is true. I think also confidence as well is such a big thing. I don't think a man would question it. They think, brilliant, I'm going to take the money and I'm going to grow this business. But a woman's thinking, but what if? And anyway.
So when I started, I have a business called Innovation Simple Ideas, and it's sort of marketing and innovation-based consultancy. So when I set that up, I think it was 2012, I went for startup loan. I borrowed, I think at the time was £8,000 to help me build this business. So that was hugely helpful for me at that very early stage to be able to invest that money in something that I needed technology-wise. I needed some tools to be able to deliver services. So a startup loan was, hugely beneficial to me at the time. And the terms that they had on startup loan was not as huge as when you go to a bank. So their terms were very much more lenient than a bank would put on you. And usually banks would ask you to be already generating revenue business, and they would probably not even look at your idea stage business. Whereas startup loans and these organizations are very happy to look at your startup stage idea.
Okay, brilliant.
Just to go back on accelerators, here are some of the accelerators available across the world. These are, a lot of them are international. Some are very, very well known and sort of places that people really aspire to take their business to. So Techstars is one of the biggest accelerators, I would say. And then some of the other ones. Wira is run by the O2 in the UK. When you accepted by Wira, you're part of a group of other entrepreneurs, and you have an office space where you can work, and you have a lot of support around that. Startup Bootcamp is the one I mentioned earlier. And there's so many more that, again, they all focus on different niches.
So you can just Google them up.
Yeah, just Google. I think I have a list of them, actually. I have a whole database of accelerators that I collected over the years. One of my favorite ways of funding is crowdfunding for a number of reasons. So 2 years ago, I actually started my own crowdfunding platform, and I have developed a course on crowdfunding. But the reason why I really feel strongly about crowdfunding is it's a different type of funding altogether. So there are a few different types of crowdfunding, to mention that. There is rewards and donations-based crowdfunding that Kickstarter offers. So when you have an idea or a product, maybe you're writing a book, maybe you want to come out with a fashion line, maybe you're developing some kind of unique product or a bit of innovation, what you would do is take your idea or your concept and put it up on a crowdfunding platform. And by doing that, obviously there is a lot of preparation and process in how to successfully put up a project on a crowdfunding platform. But with crowdfunding, it achieves a number of things. First of all, it tests your idea. Imagine taking your idea and taking it to thousands of people to see whether they would buy the product as if it was already ready to buy product. So at an idea stage, you would package it up and put it up on a crowdfunding platform and see whether you can raise some money for it. So again, it validates your idea, whether anyone would pay for it, but also in the process, you raise the money that you need to develop that product. In some cases, if you go for rewards-based crowdfunding, you do not need to pay this money back. So that means it's money given to you to develop a product and deliver that product to the people that bought it. So they buy a product in advance, and then they trust you that you will be going ahead and building this product. It works best when you have a great story behind it, or when there is a worthwhile product or project, or it's really solving someone's problem. And I think doing the whole process, you figure out who's the market I'm serving, what is the need or the product that the problem that I'm solving, and will anyone pay for it? And I think that eliminates the guesswork and eliminates you having to go and find people to test your product. Here, you just put it up on the platform and you really test the market whether anyone would pay for it before you invest a penny in it.
Amazing. It is amazing, isn't it? I'm a member of Kickstarter, and I often will back projects. So it really does work.
Yeah.
And a couple can come off the ground, and it's such a satisfying thing as well as someone who's gone and invested in it. You think, oh my gosh, I've just helped to do this. So
it's amazing.
Fantastic.
I mean, there's many of social projects as well. If you're thinking about sort of social cause projects, even charitable project, you can fundraise for that sort of project. Or if you just have an amazing story and you want to do something to impact many lives, you can fundraise through a crowdfunding platform for something like that. So that means you don't have to invest your money. You rely on other people helping you and supporting you. And another thing that you achieve that way is you achieve a lot of support, which is very difficult to achieve through normal marketing. You hear people saying, I want to help make your idea happen, and I will put some money forward to help you make it happen. So for me, it's at an early stage. I think it's really, really good way of fundraising for your idea.
Brilliant.
Let us know if you have any questions. Let me just double check if we've covered everything. So we talked about grants and innovation, startup loans already, accelerators. So this is all for sort of early stage funding. Now, what you need to consider when you're going for probably the next level of funding is some of these things. So your strategy as you set out. Talking about the opportunity, and opportunity is what opportunity are you presenting to the investors? You have a business, an idea or a product, and this is an opportunity for investors to be part of it. This is an opportunity for investor to be part of a business that's going to do X, Y, and Z. And if you have managed to do a good business plan, if you're certain that your business is going to achieve so much, this is an opportunity for an investor. You're not going to an investor to ask for money. You're presenting them with an opportunity to be a part of something. And if you flip it back and you think about the investor, what does an investor want? They want return on their money. So their money is a product that they're giving you. The difference is, like I said, I have ambulance just behind my house, so they tend to come out quite often. So investors looking somewhere to put their money. They don't want to keep their money in a sock or on their mattress. For them, the money is not working. The money is not doing anything useful with it. They're not doing anything useful with it. So for them, they're looking for the right opportunity to put their money into. And that's your chance to really show them what is the opportunity they're investing. How are you going to take that money and what are you going to do? How are you going to scale it? How are you going to generate revenue on it? How is that money going to work for the investor? And that's the opportunity.
Yeah.
Then you need to think about the risk, because with taking money, there are risks. I'm not saying you're signing your life away, but it can feel like that sometimes. So you need to consider risks. And every money that comes as an investment or a loan comes with strings attached. So you need to think about what are those strings? What are the terms that an investor will impose on you, or even a bank, or even a crowdfunding platforms? Every area of funding will have its own terms and conditions. So you really need to think, what are the risks? What are the possibilities of me losing that? And what are my liabilities towards that money that I'm taking? So I'm bringing it up because it is the reality. It's not a free money, but if you do it the right way, it could really help your business grow and scale. Another thing you need to think about is how much equity you want to give away. 100% of nothing is nothing. So if you own 100% of the opportunity, but it's not going anywhere, then you still haven't got anything. So don't be afraid of giving up equity in your business if it's going to mean that you have a great investor on board who will help you, who will guide you. Yes, the money will come with some strings attached, or someone else will own a part of your business, but what are you getting in return? I think, again, there's something that you can weigh up and see how much is that money or funding is worth to you in terms of equity in your business. And the costs, the money comes not just with liabilities, but with costs as well. So whether it's a loan or fundraising through a crowdfunding platform, you can expect to pay anything from 5% to 10% and more on the money that you borrow. Again, just weighing up different options, seeing what will be more cost-effective way of borrowing that money for your business. Not necessarily borrowing, it could be fundraising, but again, you're just paying to a platform. When you are going for fundraising, for your own sanity and for your investor sanity, you need to know your numbers. If you're not comfortable with numbers, if you're not sure how to do your financial forecasts, do reach out to an accountant or someone that can help you and guide you through the basics. So a few things that you need to consider is the development costs. How much money does your business need to develop initially, to get going, to be in a place where you can start working? Then you have things like running costs, your lighting, your heating, maybe your office, maybe your car, maybe all your subscriptions. What are your running costs of your business? And you should always keep a tab of those. Cost of sales. How much does your product cost for you to sell it? So if you're selling it for £10, for example, and it costs you £9 to make it, it's not very efficient. But if you're selling it £10 and it costs you £1 to make it, then you're keeping 90% of the revenue for the business. So that's great revenue, great margin. So really, every investor will ask you, what are your margins? Do you know your margins? Do you know how much it takes for you to produce this product and how much you're selling it for? So understanding those numbers. Revenue doesn't mean profit. Revenue does not mean profit in your pocket. Revenue means you generating money into your business. Profit means money that you keep after you have paid all the costs. After you have paid the light, the heating, the cleaner, the accountant, that you have paid for cost of sales, that's your profit. And in overall grand scheme of things, when you're developing your business, your costs outweighs the profits, then you're not running your business sustainably. It will run out of money. And in the first year of business, it's normal to run into losses. It's absolutely normal. But if you continue year on year making a loss, then you don't have a business. And, it might be just that you need some funding to scale it to where you can start making revenue. Maybe you can hire someone, but making sure that you're making profit is very important. Running a profitable business, and we spoke about this earlier today. But again, if you are in business, if you want to run a successful business, getting comfortable with knowing your numbers, not shying away. And I know sometimes it's difficult to kind of sit down and do the numbers, but you need to understand your numbers, and they will be talking to you. These numbers will represent something in your business. And we're almost there. We're almost at the end of it. So growth stage funding. Once you start to scale and really grow your business, get out of the early stage development phase, you can start considering for the growth stage funding, which is sort of angel funding, looking at probably between 50,000 to $500,000. That's the area of funding that you probably be looking at the next stage. So that sort of money you can access from equity crowdfunding, where you give up equity in your business from a large pool of investors. Angel funding, so maybe 1 or 2 or 5 high net worth or people that have succeeded in business before, who are willing to be angels in your business.
Dragon's Den style.
Yes, exactly. In the UK, if you're from the UK, there's something that's not quite commonly known, but should be known, that angel investors who are high net worth earners or high earners, they have a tax break to invest in small businesses. So they get up to 75% written off their tax bill for the money they invest. And they can do that up to £150,000 a year for small businesses, and more for bigger businesses for less tax break. So it's called EIS and SEIS scheme, Enterprise Investment Scheme, and Seed Enterprise Investment Scheme. Your business needs to qualify for that to be able to qualify for this tax break for your investors. But it's fantastic tax break and incentive for your investor to invest in your business if you qualify for it. So, you know, if they're putting in £100,000 into your business, they're writing off £75,000 of their tax bill. That's a huge
incentive for them. Wow.
So not many people know about it, but it's something to consider once you get up to that stage and you're thinking about more professional funding. And, you know, I would say UK and US are very, very different. In the US, people fund ideas. You have an idea, you have maybe a pitch deck, and you go to an investor and you probably would get funded. In the UK, it's a little bit different. Investors are a little bit more risk averse. So you need more convincing, and you need to have invested more in your idea and have grown your idea more to be able to access funding. But again, every country is different, and the mindset of the investor would be different in every region. But there are certainly, these are the types of funding that are available or as an option for your business. So yeah. The last bit, this is a funding process. So initially have your plan, consider the choices of what funding option you're going for and what you need to have in place to be able to access that funding. Do research, whether it's an accelerator, crowdfunding platform, an angel group, or whatever you're going for, research them. Research who else got funded through that route, how successful they were. Find the right type of investors. Taking the wrong type of investment could be make or break for your business, and the right type of investor could really accelerate your idea to another level. So finding the suitable type of funding, and don't be afraid to negotiate. And if you need support in negotiating, have someone to support you there. But make sure you read every single line in the contract. Investors tend to put some tricky things in the contracts to make it very difficult for you later on, and you won't find out till much later in the process. So when you're negotiating, make sure you read all the small print.
Should you get someone in to look at this or something, or is it?
Absolutely. A solicitor would be the best thing to do when you're negotiating a deal. You have to have a solicitor of your own.
Make sure that,
And that's pretty much it. Funding for women-led businesses. I think more women should be growing and scaling. And my advice to you is keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground, family on the ground. And I hope all of us will be able to reach the stars at some stage in our businesses.
That was brilliant, Raimonda. Thank you so much. It was so informative. I am the most stupid person when it comes to things like that, and it really made sense to me, and it really explained it to me, and it opened my eyes actually, because I think often we think as women, as our businesses, oh, we can't scale it, we can't do this, but there's all these opportunities, and actually, they're looking for women to do it. They want you to do it. There is so many resources that you can go to out there, as you've just shown.
Incredible amount of support from accelerators, from these organizations, from grants, the local council. There's a lot of support for women, so don't be afraid to knock on doors, ask what is the funding available for me and my type of business. Be forward. Don't be afraid to ask for money, because this is an opportunity you are bringing to investors, or this is the opportunity you bring into market. So just don't be afraid to ask for it, because that's an opportunity for you to grow your business to the next level.
Yeah, and you should take it and grasp it with both hands. And the other thing you said as well, if you don't understand something, don't be afraid to ask people, because people are so willing to explain things to you. And I think that's something that a lot of us, I don't do it, but don't be afraid to go and ask, and people will tell you. It's explain it to you. It's fantastic. And Lindsay said, thank you, that was very educational, really great info. We'll have to watch this again. Yes, I think it's something everyone's going to have to save and take notes on. It's fantastic. Thank you so much, Raimonda.
What I'll do, I haven't finished these slides. I was actually just preparing for the summit, so I just wanted to get it right for you guys to go through the basics. But what I'll do, when I finish these slides, I'll pop it up on SlideShare, so you guys can just come back to this when you need to. And another thing I am preparing to do is actually relaunch sort of startup funding online program to help people figure out all these things, how to write a business plan. I already have a course on crowdfunding, how to start with crowdfunding. So I'll pop a link in here for my own website, for CrowdVelocity. So I have loads of blog posts on this link and just things that you can check out. So after the summit, I'll make sure to share the link to the slides as well.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Raimonda. And Leanne's was saying amazing information. Thank you so much. And it really was fantastic. It was fabulous. Thank you so much. I can't believe you did all that as well as planning all this as well. You've had a lot on your plate. So well done. Yeah, so brilliant. But actually, this is my last session as well. And Raimonda is going to be taking the last 2 sessions, is it now? Can't believe we're coming to the end. I've had so much fun, and I've really enjoyed chatting with all you ladies and hearing all your wisdom and seeing all the comments and connecting with you all. It's been such a fantastic 2 days, and it's not over yet. There's 2 more fantastic speakers to come. We've got Alison of New Beginnings, Best Beginnings, coming up next with Raimonda at 4:30, because there's going to be a break for an hour. And then at 5:45, we've got Katrina talking about lead generation, and so they're going to be 2 fantastic talks. So please, tune in. Come back at 4:30.
Drop in. I know you're just going out to get your little ones now, but feel free to drop in later on. And
I will. Once they're back and quiet and settled, I will turn it back on and
I know you have something to share as well.
Yeah, well, I have a, I haven't actually got it with me. I haven't got it finalized yet, but I have a put together because I am doing a bit of copy coaching, and I've put together a brand voice workbook. If you're struggling with your brand voice, I've put together a workbook, and it can take you step by step through to help you find the right tone, the right style for your copy, help you engage with your readers and make them stick to you like Velcro. So it's a really good one. I will once it's put together, it's nearly done, I will give Raimonda the link, and maybe she can email it through or put it up in the chat box or something.
Everyone, because we had so much amazing value shared by the speakers, I will put together an email with every speaker and what they shared in terms of freebies, so you have all those links for reference after the event. So if not tomorrow, then maybe next week, you all should receive an email with all this.
You have an email with lots and lots of goodies inside, because there've been so many fantastic freebies, haven't there? There've been so much stuff on top of all the value we've had in the talk. So thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Lovely to meet you, as Lindsay says. And good luck with the rest of the sessions, and I will be watching. And well done, Raimonda, for your chat. That was really interesting.
Thank you so much. All right, have a good rest of your evening, and we'll see you guys at 4:30, so in an hour. We'll be back with Alison.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.